However familiar the pictures may have become this past year, the story they tell is no less extraordinary. A steady stream of people heading through northern Greece this morning to the Macedonian border. No matter that this border is closed, if you've survived airstrikes or jihadist terror or the smugglers' boats, if you've travelled this far, if you are as determined as this woman from Aleppo in Syria clearly is, or this exhausted family from Damascus, then why stop now? But you still keep going.
Yeah, yes.
You're still smiling.
Yes, it's the only way. Where are we going?
Just keep going.
Yes, just go. We don't stop.
The wheelchair heads across the fields of an EU country as if this were perfectly normal, and here of course it is, though the UN says this group of mostly Syrians and Iraqis is heading into a looming humanitarian crisis. It's looming here at Idomeni, over 10,000 people now and more arriving all the time, where we find 8 Tajiks from Afghanistan living beneath a blanket balanced across the railway buffers. Economic migrants, say the Macedonians on the other side, and so this for them the end of the line in more ways than one. It takes 2 to 3 hours to queue for a meal. The wait is so long that people have passed out and there aren't enough latrines, or tents either. The UN says 1,500 have been sleeping out in the open, as these new arrivals now are. Ismi Amada, a Kurd from Kobane in Syria, has no tent and no blanket for his family either. He looks bewildered and tired from carrying his children so far. There are, of course, much bigger refugee camps around the world than this one. But this place is a remarkable monument to failure nonetheless. The failure of the countries from which these people have come. The failure of Turkey and other transit states to give them the kind of sanctuary they will accept. And perhaps, above all, the failure of Europe, which has still not got to grips with this crisis almost a year after it began. The European Commission today proposed emergency aid of 700 million euros, 300 million of that this year. But in some ways, money is the easy bit. Processing their asylum claims and actually distributing them across Europe, so much harder. What, in terms of practical things, do you need for these people that you haven't got?
A proper mechanism where these are received, they're registered, they're sheltered, and then there's a process that people have access to the asylum procedures, and then there's the solidarity, refugees to be distributed according to the EU agreed relocation quotas. If that's not there, you can't stabilize the situation.
Quotas were agreed last year, but the numbers quickly became fantasy because the numbers keep rising. The Macedonians have their own solution, only letting a few hundred cross in the last 24 hours. Tonight, the Dubase family from Hama in Syria will be sleeping 6 to this tiny tent. Their dreams of Germany, just that. They say they have spent all their money on people smugglers, but at least their sleeping children have been given shelter thanks to the kindness of the Ali family, Iraqis from Mosul, now living next door. But you still want to go to Germany?
Yes, we want to go.
Otherwise, this is the end of the line for you. This is it.
Yeah? No. If they didn't accept, we will stay here for as we can.
As long as you can.
Yeah.
Today the sun shone, but when it rains, their clothes are soaking wet and the nights are cold. On the ground, fierce determination and the kindness of strangers mattering so much more than Europe's squabbling tonight.